Humanity was under attack from a powerful alien civilization known as the Galactic Hegemony. The Teran ships were trapped in the orbit of Juno, a massive gas giant, with all escape routes blocked. This enormous gas giant spun like a prison in the middle of the intense battle, with the Teran ships unable to find a way out. The human fleet seemed helpless against the superior technology of their enemies. The lights on the bridge flickered on and off due to the explosions around them. Admiral John Reynolds watched the situation unfold, his eyes fixed on the screens. In the midst of the chaos, enemy alien ships circled the Teran vessels like predators, trying to crush every bit of human resistance. Reynolds's face showed the strain of making tough decisions. The stress of war was growing with every passing moment. 25% power loss, the engineering officer reported in a quiet voice. Our shields are critically low. Commander Maria Lopez approached Reynolds. Her uniform, worn and battle-scarred, showed the marks of both war and time. Captain Reynolds, the enemy is attacking our left flank, she said. Her voice was determined, but her fatigue was clear. They're strong, but we're not giving up. Admiral Reynolds took a deep breath, his face lined with worry. The enemy's advanced technology made every moment of the battle more difficult. Still, humanity had one last hope. Even when everything seemed lost and hope was running out, a secret weapon, our final glimmer of hope, remained. Prepare the secret weapon, Reynolds said firmly. Time is running out. We need to give the enemy one last challenge. Emergency alarms blared around the bridge, the lights turned red, and the crew worked with a renewed sense of urgency. Humanity's last hope was pinned on this secret weapon in their darkest hour. Reynolds's gaze remained on the screens as he took another deep breath. Every ship, every crew member, held a spark of hope that might change the outcome of the battle. The strength of the enemy no longer mattered. Their only focus was to fight on and hope for a miracle. I am Admiral John Reynolds, a seasoned commander known for my leadership on the bridge and for defending humanity through countless battles. After every war, with each victory and defeat, my face bore more lines and my eyes deeper marks. These marks were not just physical, but reflected the inner struggles I had faced. War was like a crucible that consumed both body and mind, but every time, I had to rise again and fulfill my duty as humanity's hope. By my side is another warrior who has been with me through every battle, Second Commander Maria Lopez. Maria has always been loyal and has stood by me in tough decisions. Fighting alongside her gave me strength and confidence. She is known for her strategic brilliance, courage, and composure on the battlefield. Despite her young age, she has experienced all the harsh aspects of war and seen the inner workings of every conflict. The marks on her face and the frequent moments of eye contact between us were reminders of these experiences. Maria's leadership gave us courage even in this desperate situation. Her ability to quickly grasp every command, assess and implement each strategy, made her not only a good officer but also an indispensable ally. She was always one step back, carefully observing the battle, analyzing the outcome of each attack, and making urgent decisions when needed. Our crew, under the guidance of these two leaders, continued to resist even in the toughest moments of the war. Their eyes reflected not only the necessity of the battle, but also humanity's struggle for survival. Each crew member, facing the brutal face of war, was strengthened by the courage and determination of their leaders. They were the true heroes, managing to hold out until the very end of the battle, at every dangerous moment and every edge of peril. The silence on the bridge reflected a tension filled with exhaustion. The reality that every decision could change the outcome of the war weighed heavily on everyone. Despite Maria's noticeably worried appearance, her determination and courage were a source of morale for the crew. We both knew a fundamental truth. This battle was not only a struggle of technology and strategy, but also of character and courage. Second Commander Maria Lopez was not just a strategist in this tough war, but also a source of morale for our crew. Together, our entire crew continued to fight for humanity's existence, enduring through this challenging trial. This battle of ours might be one of humanity's greatest struggles in history, and with each of our sacrifices, we would continue to resist and fight until the very end. Our greatest hope was, of course, the TSS Paradox. This ship was humanity's greatest technological secret. It was the result of years of secret research and development, and it had a unique energy source capable of manipulating the fabric of space-time. My eyes were fixed on the screens on the bridge. The technology we used was unlike anything else. The ability to erase our enemies from the timeline was our power to reshape the galaxy. The TSS Paradox was more than just a ship. It was a symbol of humanity's scientific and technological progress. Everything about the ship was kept secret. Scientists had developed this project in the depths of a secret laboratory known only to a few. The energy source inside the Paradox was far beyond a mere power supply. It used a type of temporal energy that interacted with the fabric of space-time, a concept no one fully understood. When I entered, the ship's control bridge looked like it had been pulled straight from a science fiction movie set. Every panel, every screen, was equipped with cutting-edge technology. The technology inside the Paradox seemed chaotic, but was exquisitely precise. A series of complex devices and energy fields that allowed for space-time manipulation were present in every corner of the ship. For a moment, I pondered the complexity of the technology inside this ship and wondered about what this process had brought us. Despite the amount of information provided about the secret weapons capabilities, it was difficult to fully grasp its true potential. Operating the technology on the Paradox required almost an art form. The ship was designed to bend the fabric of time, altering perceptions of reality itself. Controlling and effectively using this energy felt like something straight out of science fiction. However, at this critical moment in the battle, it was time to use this technology. Commander Maria Lopez and I received a final briefing on how to operate this secret weapon on the bridge of the Paradox. As scientists explained the power and operation of this energy source, their eyes glinted with concern. Every step in using the technology carried high risks. At this stage of the war, we had to take these risks. A single mistake could mean the end of everything. Standing before the control panel of the Paradox, monitoring the energy flows inside the ship felt like turning the pages of a science fiction novel. Each light, each signal, gave us a clue about the depths of this technology. Inside this massive ship lay the hope and fate of all humanity. I took my place beside Commander Lopez, reviewing the final details to understand exactly how to activate the energy. As scientists gave their final explanations, we completed our preparations. When the moment came to unleash the full potential of the secret weapon, we would see what we could achieve with this immense power. This last hope in humanity's hands could change the fate of the entire galaxy. The TSS Paradox advanced silently like a stealthy predator toward the enemy fleet. The enemy was still unaware of the impending danger. They had no idea how far their courage and technology were from ours. As the ship moved through the echoing silence from the depths of the galaxy, we focused all our attention. My eyes were fixed on the screens on the bridge, tracking the flow of energy surrounding the Paradox. The ship was dark and silent. We were closing in on the enemy, almost like a hunter, unnoticed. The shields on the Paradox's outer surface were active, absorbing the impact of the enemy's energy cannons and projectiles. These shields rendered the enemy's firepower nearly ineffective. The ship seemed to be cloaked in a form of invisibility, evading the enemy's radar and sensors. Commander Maria Lopez stood beside me. Her eyes had the sharpness of a strategist who calculated and monitored every moment. The energy indicators and shield statuses were constantly changing, but everything was under control. The Paradox's system provided perfect protection against the enemy's fire. Their attacks collided with our shields and dissipated, making us feel as if we were beneath an invisible cloak. All weapons ready. The time has come, I said, with a sense of determination and precision in my voice. This critical moment in the battle would test not only the power of our secret weapon, but also the resilience of humanity. I took a deep breath. This could be the moment that decided the outcome of the war. When the enemy ships detected the approach of the Paradox, it was already too late. Their radars and sensors were not designed to detect such a complex and effective technology. The ship was closing in quickly, and a large portion of the enemy was left in chaos and confusion, in addition to their alarm systems. Enemy ships are increasing their response. They're starting to mobilize, Commander Lopez said. Her professional tone reflected the seriousness of the moment. The screens showed that the enemy was rapidly changing course and activating their defense systems. But it was already too late. All systems active. Energy flow stabilized. Our chief engineer responded, examining the data on the control panel. Everything inside the ship was in place, and our preparations were complete. "Activate the secret weapon," I ordered, my voice resonating with clarity and determination. The lights in the Paradox's energy core began to glow, signaling the presence of an energy preparing to bend the fabric of time itself. As the enemy fleet tried to understand what was happening, the energy flow inside the Paradox rapidly intensified. The Paradox moved to breach the enemy's defensive lines. The energy flow became more pronounced on the screens, and we carefully calculated each move to control this immense power. The time had come. While the Paradox's shields remained intact despite all the enemy's attacks, we stood firm against the enemy fleet. The enemy ships had lost the chance to grasp the potential of our secret weapon. The silent death our technology offered would determine the outcome of the war. Finally, all weapons were activated, and the energy source of the Paradox reached its maximum power. "Let the battle begin," I said, with tension and excitement within me. This was not just a battle. It was the climax of humanity's struggle for survival. My eyes were fixed on the screens inside the TSS Paradox. Our primary weapon, the temporal energy wave cannon, was fully operational. I was eager to see the effects of this secret weapon on the complex and extensive enemy fleets. The energy flows within the Paradox were glowing, preparing for the manipulation of time like a cosmic vibration. "Temporal energy wave is ready," said our chief engineer, confirming the data and indicators he carefully monitored. The tremor in his voice reflected a deep respect for the magnitude of this technology. My eyes focused on the screen displaying the enemy flagship. This was the most powerful ship in the enemy fleet, and targeting it was crucial to determining the outcome of the battle. The Paradox's energy was intensifying with each passing second. Inside me, a mix of tension and anticipation was building. This was going to be both a terrifying and extraordinary moment. "Target locked, I'm ready to fire," Commander Maria Lopez said, her fingers swiftly moving over the control panel. Her eyes carefully verified the coordinates of the enemy flagship. "Release the energy wave," I ordered, my voice resonating with more determination than ever. For a moment, all systems on the ship fell silent. Time seemed to be spinning around itself. All the energy within the Paradox was prepared to concentrate on the flagship. Suddenly, a massive burst of energy erupted. The temporal energy wave cannon shot a colossal beam of light toward the flagship. The light was an all-encompassing radiance, traveling through the depths of space and moving toward the enemy ship. The energy wave struck the ship, shaking the very fabric of reality. On the flagship's screen, a void seemed to form as if the ship had momentarily ceased to exist. The screen displayed only a flash, followed by a profound emptiness. The enemy flagship vanished as if its existence had been erased. There was no explosion or debris left. It was as if it had never existed, erased from the entire timeline. The enemy crew's panic was reflected on every face. Their eyes shone with a mix of astonishment and fear. Screams and commands created a chaotic environment inside the ship. I knew their technology was not equipped to counter such time manipulation. This technology was beyond their entire defense system. The other enemy ships, witnessing the sudden disappearance of their flagship, found themselves defenseless and helpless. The technology we had developed over years had rendered all their strategic calculations and plans useless. Everything had changed abruptly. The morale and disarray of the enemy fleets had become the foundation of our victory. "Monitor the results," I said, observing the effects of the energy waves and time distortions on the screens. The energy levels within the paradox were slowly returning to normal, but that single shot had altered the course of the battle. With the enemy ships in shock from the disappearance of their flagship, our strategic advantage was confirmed. The power of the temporal energy wave cannon was not only a symbol of technological superiority, but also of humanity's determination. Now, at this critical moment in the battle, we were left to watch everything turn in our favor. Our ability to manipulate time had brought the war to its conclusion. The power of the paradox had erased the enemy from history. The galaxy was now on the brink of a new era, and humanity had the power to shape this new era. My eyes scanned the final energy readings on the paradox's control panels. The enemy fleet was rapidly vanishing under the effect of paradox's temporal energy wave. Each enemy ship was being erased from history one by one, leaving only emptiness and silence in its wake. The vast armada of the Galactic Hegemony had become nothing more than a memory. This galactic supremacy war had ended in humanity's victory. "Admiral, the entire enemy fleet has been destroyed. No traces remain," said Commander Maria Lopez, observing the dispersing energy data on the screens. The fatigue in her voice reflected the complex emotions that victory had brought. "Excellent work, Maria," I said, my eyes shining with a tired but satisfying gleam. "But we must be aware of the responsibilities that come with this victory." My gaze shifted to the screens, examining the point where the enemy flagship had disappeared. Space was now silent and empty. The presence of the enemy fleets had been erased as a part of galactic history. However, this victory was not just the end of the battle, but the beginning of humanity's role in this galactic arena. "Only the galactic void we have won remains," Jackson said, bowing his head. There was a sense of respect and deep contemplation in his voice. "But that does not mean our responsibility has ended." On the screens, signals of surrender from the Galactic Hegemony leaders became apparent. The enemy leaders had attempted a final resistance, but they knew it was futile. Everything was over. Humanity's ability to wield such powerful technology had caused them to question their superiority. "It seems they have surrendered," I said, reviewing the surrender signals. "It is time to shape the future of this galaxy." Commander Lopez, along with our senior crew, began the surrender procedures by contacting the enemy leaders. "Surrender confirmed, Admiral," she said. "We can now take over the governance of this galaxy." But this victory was only the beginning. Humanity was on the brink of a new era in this galactic arena. The immense power of the paradox was not just a threat, but also a tool carrying great responsibility. The responsibility to wield this technology was not only about galactic dominance, but also about universal ethics and justice. "Shut down the paradox completely and review this technology carefully," I instructed. "We must use this power ethically. While determining the future of the galaxy, we must be fair and responsible to ourselves and other forms of life." My crew was aware of this great responsibility. Each of us felt the weight of establishing a new order across the galaxy. Humanity would no longer be merely a player in the galactic arena, but would now take its place as a leader. However, This meant not only power and dominance, but also being a representative of ethics and justice. "We will be the leaders of the new era on the horizon," I said, taking a deep breath. "But this means bearing not only the weight of power, but also the burden of responsibility. We will govern this galaxy by protecting all life and their rights." The gleam in my eyes reflected not only the victory of the battle, but also the hope and determination against the uncertainty of the future. Under the influence of the paradox, the galaxy would be reshaped. It was the beginning of an era filled with new opportunities and great responsibilities. The dimming lights of the paradox accentuated the silence of the galaxy amid the echoes of victory. We were on the brink of a new era, but the foundations of this new age would be laid not only with power but with justice and responsibility.